Let's do this.
Alright, so if you don't know anything about Trevor, basically, the less health that he has, the more damage he's able to deal, and also the less damage he will receive. And to go over his skills real fast, his first skill attacks twice, and subsequently increases his attack power for 2 turns. And if you don't understand what subsequently means, it just means afterwards, so he's going to get that 2-turn attack buff after he attacks. And then his second ability will increase his critical rate for 2 turns, so you don't have to build him on max crit rate. You can go, I think it's 15% of an increase, somewhere around there. So you only need about 85% for 100% crit rate. And he will also heal himself by 30% of the damage he deals. So you don't need to build him on Vampire anymore. That used to be like the main build that you build this guy on. You still can do that if you want, but that skill will almost every time heal him to max. Just because if he already lost health, then he's going to be dealing more damage, and the more damage he's dealing, the more he's healing himself. And now after the most recent balance patch, he will now no longer land a glancing hit with that second ability. So this is great, and I will be showing you later in the video of why this is such a significant update. But moving on to his passive, like I said before, the more damage he has taken, the more damage he's able to deal, and also the less damage he will be receiving. And also, if he is under any harmful effects, the damage will also be decreased. So for example, if you try to cleave him, try to defense break him, and then attack on top of that, the damage will be massively reduced. And then the last thing here that shouldn't be overlooked is his leader skill, which increases his attack power by 33% in the arena, which is a pretty significant attack power increase. He also received another upgrade in the last balance patch that increases his base HP and his base attack by taking away from his base defense. So with these new stat increases in mind, this now allows you to build Trevor in a couple of different ways. But to start this video off, I just have him on Vampire Revenge, just because this is one of the most common ways to build Trevor. But like I said, you can build him a couple of different ways. I think now he's even really good on HP, crit damage HP, if you want to go down that route, or even a little bit more of a hybrid, maybe go attack, crit damage, and HP. You could even just rock him on full revenge set, will with 2 revenge, bunch of different ways you can build this guy. But for now, this is how I have him built. But let's take a look real quick at where people are using him. And as you can see, he's not really used anywhere besides PvP, which makes sense. He doesn't provide any debuffs. And then also you can see the way people are building him, which is pretty much exactly as I said, or how we have him built right now. So we have him on the standard damage build, and we're going to go and test out his damage real fast. To start out the damage test, we're going with a 40% attack leader skill and a max health Trevor. And as you can see, the damage isn't that great, but let's have a look at his second ability. And once again, it's not that impressive, but let's go ahead and use the Dark Undyne's third skill to reduce Trevor's HP before he goes for the attacks. That's a lot better, but if you're really paying attention, you'll notice that we actually had a shield on Trevor there, so that massively reduced the damage that he should have dealt. Also, because he's healing on the first attack, the second attack is dealing a lot less damage since his health is back to max. So this time around, I made sure that the shield wasn't on, and also let's just imagine that we have a heal block on Trevor or something, and both of the first attacks are dealing the same amount of damage. And then for his second ability, 140,000 isn't bad, but I did notice something, and I feel like a complete idiot, but we are actually in TOA hard, which means we're attacking against griffins with much higher defense than if we were in TOA normal. So I'm going to try this again, and also I'm going to change up Trevor's runes so that he is on Rage Blade, and we're going to try to deal the max amount of damage that we possibly can. Alright, here we go. First skill, 80,000 times 2, so we're at 160,000 with the first skill. And here is the second skill, 244,000. Okay, that's a little bit overkill.
Now that's a lot of damage!
But to use him in a practical way, you want to use him against units like Douglas or Sonya, units that you'll sometimes glance against, even units like Molly. You can also use him against squishy water units like Minato, and just simply one-shot them now, since you don't have to worry about glancing. Just make sure you don't try to bring him to counter things that can't be crit. For example, Kinky here. And for the rest of this video, I'm going to be showcasing him in RTA. I have him on Rage Revenge, Attack, Crit Damage, and HP. And I also runed up a couple other units that I think will pair really nicely with him. And we're just going to try it out, see how it goes. And hopefully by the end of this, you will officially be convinced to build Trevor. So we're starting off down here in Fighter 2, of course, because I haven't been playing RTA, because, you know, it pisses me off. But anyway, I started out this match, and I tried to one-shot the Minato, and of course, this guy has like an HP Minato built, and it just completely screwed up my game plan there. I should have just buffed up the Ramagas and killed it, or went for the Douglas instead. In the next match, this guy tried to Lucian me, and luckily we got the pushback there on Bernard, and then as soon as we get this decline off, it's pretty much over, right? The lower HP that we have on both Ramagas and Trevor, the more damage we're going to deal. So he couldn't do amputation magic there, because otherwise he'd just be buffing my entire team. And also I think he ended up just playing on auto, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, first win for Trevor, and it was a pretty good showcase of how you can use him with that water Death Knight. In this match, Trevor gets banned, of course, but luckily we still have Ramagas to carry us. This next match is kind of long and boring and drags out for a while, but I'm still going to show it just because it showcases what happens if your opponent allows the match to go on too long without killing Trevor. We're finally back in Fighter 3, and in this match, it's similar to the last one where my opponent didn't really have that much threat, but he did get a bunch of lucky procs and stuns throughout the match. But just like the last match, eventually we just start one-shotting everything, no matter how tanky it is. And keep in mind that a lot of the times that Trevor is dealing damage, there is no attack buff and there is no defense break. So this is just raw damage, and on top of that, he has HP on slot 6. This match here actually made me tilt a little bit. I feel like I got extremely unlucky. As you can see, we get defense broken, that's fine, but then this right here, 2 of our units get stunned by the Jameer. Why is that on Despair? I have no idea. But anyway, we come through, we get a kill there, we're back to full HP, and then we pretty much have no way of coming back after that, unless we get a lucky Violent proc, which we didn't. But what I really want to showcase about this match is how much damage Trevor ends up tanking here. He's now got 2 debuffs on him, and he's just taking hit after hit and still staying alive. It's just unfortunate that we couldn't come back from it. But I think that just goes to show why you can also build Trevor on HP and have a lot of success with him. I have a few more matches to share here, and for this match, we actually get to see how good the Wind Monkey King is after his buff, but we also get a nice little showcase of Trevor doing his thing and helping us come back from what looked to be a finished match, but actually we turned it around pretty nicely thanks to the Wind Monkey King and Trevor. So I'm just going to let the rest of this match play out. planned on making this the last match, but I ended up having so much fun with it that I had to do at least one more, and I think you'll understand why by the end of this. This is going to be the last full match of this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you already started to build out Trevor, and I promise you, you're going to have a lot of fun with him. I also do account reviews, so please consider checking out my Fiverr page if that sounds interesting to you. I'll see you at the end of the video. Alright, this last clip here I just wanted to show because I'm a little bit confused and also tilted. We got the revenge from the Wind Monkey on Moore here, but for some reason that doesn't activate his passive.
It's hard being a slick head, but it's real being a slick head.